Well, hello once again, space engineers. We're out here building a new building using the brand new, as of this recording anyway, brand new, out just a couple of days ago with some new blocks, and it's called Industrial, and it's really pretty neat. It adds a lot of new blocks. There's just a bunch of new blocks, and they make some nice buildings. Um, we've built this one so far. This is our new spaceport coming together, and you can see from a distance these are definitely new blocks, and it's kind of an interesting looking building. And you've got these corner pieces now that are nice, and you've got these I don't know, beam looking things, and I thought it looked pretty nice like that. And here in just a bit I'm going to show you how I made this clock tower, and that's going to be kind of an interesting thing. That's going to be the main focus of our video. But just real quick, I wanted to give you a look. We're using our standard grid system here, and so it's still got the programming block and the projector and everything out front. I'll take that out in a little bit. But look at this inside. It needs a little bit of color. I just kind of finished this, and I'm not sure what kind of color I want. I've kind of played with even that cow moo stuff. I don't like that very much, but I played with it just to see. So what we've got is, we've got some little couches over here to sit and rest, or then we've got a little dining area here, a little cafeteria, and I'm going to put up some screens there. And I like those oxygen tanks in the back. They kind of look like, huge milkshakers, or I don't know what. And also, just as a piece of decoration, you see I've got my dispenser, and I've got my little shop there, and I put this is actually a hangar door, and until you get real close to it, you don't see that it says hangar door. It just looks real interesting, and I really like that. It looks like a soda machine of some sort from over here. So I think I'm going to leave that and just see kind of how it fits. I'd like to find some way to cover up those words hangar door, but it looks really kind of interesting in here around the little kitchen, because otherwise the kitchen gets kind of boring. But again, with some colors, I think that's going to make a big difference. I just got to get a better color scheme than all yellow. Anyway, I've got here a little information booth, and in the back of it I've got the ATM, and then we've got all your check-in area and these check-in desks. Then you've got the place where you'd put your luggage, and then that goes up and drops back here into another trough that goes off and gets the baggage checked in. I thought that was kind of nice. Don't have perfect kind of blocks for doing that, but again, using these industrial blocks, it makes it kind of interesting. And we've got some new blocks that are just panels, and I really like those because I could put them up here like a little counter where you'd work, and then there's a desk behind it, like where the attendants would work. So that's kind of nice. I thought it kind of came out good. It's a shame we don't see those desks just a little bit better, but they are there, and so there's a bit of detail, I think. It's kind of nice. Some more couches over here, and then a little kiosk. Probably need just a little bit of light over here on these. And again, the selection in Space Engineers right now for decoration stuff is not all that great, but I used I don't remember what they're out of, but one of the DLCs, these shelves that have these parts on them, and it looks like you could buy some of those. It looks like a little kiosk thing. And then I've got the restrooms over here, and that's all that's inside here for now. I've got the restrooms with a little sign that changes different things and this and that. And then on the restrooms, I always put doors on each one of them. Yes, they are really toilets in there, and I've got a few of them in here. And now this is the year, whatever it's supposed to be, many years in the future. So there's not a men's and a women's and a others and a this and a that. There's restrooms. You go in there, and that's where you can do. So I need a little bit of light in here for the nighttime. I built this during the day, and it was really bright and looked great. but right now it's a little bit dark, so I can see I need to put some light in here, but I'll get that done. Got a little door here to be able to get into the check-in area. It's not as universal as I'd like. It only gets into this first set of tables, but still working on that, getting some ideas of how we can make this with a place you'd put your luggage and have that. But I think overall, if you don't look too closely for doors, it looks pretty good, I thought. All right, so then the gates would be back here, and there'd be a little, there's a couple little tables that you show your ticket, and then, we were going to come through here and get into some security, and then come back here and get into the gates that would actually go out to the different platforms to get into the ships, because we've got some rather large platforms, and we've got a control tower that will be is part of that, and it's a huge control tower. One of my other guys is building that, and it's just amazing. This is kind of like a clock tower with a a bus station or a a ticketing agent station, and that's what we're working on here. So like the check-in airport portion. And as you can see, I've got some of the clock faces done, but I wanted to show you that I'm working on just the last one here. I wanted to show you how that's done, and this clock actually shows real time, like it's 20 minutes after right now, or 19 minutes after the hour, and it's 19 minutes after the hour showing, and when it becomes 20 minutes after the hour, that's going to show. And I tried putting this this clock that they've got for the LCDs, and I don't know what you think, but I just don't think it has the class. Of course, it's showing 8 o'clock because it's set with the time offset, and I haven't done that right yet. I'm still showing the universal time on my clocks up here. But as you might can see, they look a lot like an old wristwatch, and the lighting on there and everything. I think it just looks really good. The way I did that is I've got all these little lights, these little double lights all the way around, and then I use these new blocks again, and you can see that they kind of pass the light in and out of it, and it really makes them glow and reflect. And when you get off to the side here, you get to see light coming through, and I think it just looks like a crystal face on a clock, on an old wristwatch. And I like the old look because of the new mixing with the old, and I thought that was kind of nice. So I really just didn't like the LCD clock, so I built one. So here's how I did it. It works with rotors and projectors, and if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I like rotors and projectors a lot. And so we've got we made a first hole in the center, and then I went around and painted those little spots and painted them a different color. And I'm just going to put in a new block here because I don't want that block to be open anymore. I was doing that to line up my posts inside. Once I got them lined up, then I don't need that anymore. I may have to turn this on so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So used to being over in our play world where we can't fly, so it's kind of so different to get to fly again, and I'm having a bit of trouble being able to fly. We play on a kind of a hard server, and it's a lot different. All right, so as you can see here, I've got these little branches that come off, and they come off just a little bit off-centered. I guess I could have put them directly centered. Just had started here off one, and so I'm going to make them all the same way. Doesn't really matter. You could make them certainly if you get them properly centered. That's probably because I started off-centered. That's why I put the holes in there. Okay, so then I'm building out 3 blocks. As you can see here, these are different color, but I built those 3 blocks, and then I'm just building 5 blocks here, and then I'm going to put the projectors And what we've got is 2 projectors and 2 rotors. And one of them controls the long hand of the clock, and one of them controls the short hand of the clock. So that's how we get our time. Pretty interesting, yeah? So pretty cool, just to be frank. I mean, I just gotta say I'm very happy with the way this has turned out, and it's a little bit harder to set up than I'd like, but that's just because I'm not used to flying. And so there's that one, and then the other one comes out here, and I want to make sure that we get the same. I like to get that same 0, although I've not been finding that setting them up with the 0 hand is working as great as I'd like. So for the 0 setting, and we're going to get that turned around there, and let's see if we've got, yep, we're set at 0, so that's good. Okay, and so now what we have to do, because this one, I could have set it up to where this is shorter, it's just the way I set these up. You'll probably be able to learn from my mistakes here and set up a lot better. Probably I would set this up 1 shorter if I were doing it again, because the projector doesn't come in here. I can't get the projector in on that end until I move it. It just won't go here. Yeah, see, it goes there and it goes to the other side, but it won't go on the rotor, which is what we want it to do. So now I have to go over here and shorten the rotor. And I mean, I'm just going to show you how you can do that, and it makes it real simple. So what we do is we go in on those 2 new rotors. We're going to have 2 new rotors, and they're going to be the highest numbers. And so this is going to be the long hand, but I don't want to tell it about that it's a long hand yet. I got an extra space in there. I do that sometimes. So I know that this is going to be long, so I could put long on here if I want to, but I don't want to give it the complete words clock long hand, because it'll start moving, and I don't want that. And this is going to be the rotor, the short one. And I'll show you why here in a little bit, because the program in the programming block looks for it to say clock shorthand and clock longhand, and it will move them to the right time. And we don't want these to move right now. We want these to be at 0. And then we want to go get these new, there's going to be 2 new projectors. Oh no, there's no projectors yet, sorry, because I didn't put the projectors. So we want to go put those projectors. And the way I'm putting them, so I'm making them consistent, is I'm making sure that I point the 0, the projector is pointed as the 0 is. And what I'm finding is it's not sending out my hands exactly like I want, but once I figured out what they were, I know, and it's consistent, I can easily make them all the same. So that's a big help. So always you want to point the minus kind of thing towards the front of where you want that projector. And I know this doesn't look like the front, but again, it's just because that's the way I installed the first one. And then the plus should be at the top. So you can see that's what that is, and the minus kind of part points towards the 0. So that's correctly aligned. And then I want to come over here and align the other one. I'm up against that wall, so I've got to... Oh, I didn't... Here I just labeled my rotors, but I didn't change the size, did I? So I still can't put that in until I go change the size. That's what we were going to show you. So let's do that. And that's rotor long and short. So that's nice that we've got those labeled. And what you do is you come in here and you put the rotor displacement all the way down. And now that shortens it, and that helps you align things for the blocks. That's exactly what that's there for. It allows you to do various block alignments. And now you can tell that rotor head is way down low. And so There we go. When we put that up here, it's got the same orientation. And it's ready to go, and we're at 0. And so we got that. Didn't see the 0 on there, and I wanted to go back here and double check. There we go. Yeah, it's at 0. Okay, so now I can go back over here to my. Oh, I get disoriented because I'm not used to flying. Okay, so now we want to come into that. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so now we want to get into our projectors, and we want to put those in. So we've got the new projector, and usually the first one is the easiest way to say, and you're going to go to this projector, and then I think I've still got saying long. Nope. I want it to say clock, long hand. I'm going to copy that so I can use it a little bit later. And I want to go to my blueprints, and I want to grab my long hand. And that goes out there. And now I want to projector, clock, long hand. Now this is where you can tell which one it is because it's set at 0. Now this one's not set at 0. I should have turned it off or something, but I forgot. There we go. That one's set at 0, so this is the one. And we've just put our blueprint in there. And now we want to do the vertical offset at a -6. And you can see these others are all set at a -6, so I know that's where it is. And the pitch is at 90, so I want to do that. And that's why keeping them consistent is a big thing. And now what we'll see when we go out there to look at that is we'll have a new, the one I'm building the clock face on here. Okay, and that's set at the bottom of the clock. Now that wasn't supposed to set at the bottom, so that's where these, it's best just to run this stuff from running and figuring it out, and that's why I like to look at it. And so here we go, and that's in that projector. That wasn't the one. Oh, I'm in remote control. Again, I want to get back to the projector. It was this one, I think. Yeah, see, I can see that I turned that hand off, so now I want to there we go, it's on a -90 on this one. And I don't know why the stuff's inconsistent. I just don't. That's why everybody complains about projectors. Everybody that uses them understands you just got to keep messing with it till you get there. So that's about all you can say. Okay, and this is going to be a projector clock shorthand. So we want to put that shorthand in here. And it does that all the time. And again, I don't know why that one does, but the projector shorthand. And if you're paying attention, you can see some of these are set to positive, and some of them are set to negative 180. And all the projectors are set right, so I don't know why they're there. But anyway, it's at the thing. And now we want to just make sure that it goes. There we go. And so it's both at 12 o'clock. And that's what we want. And so that's set up. And now we can go back to our rotor that says long. And we'll say rotor clock long hand. And if you watch here in just a second, that'll take off and should take off and start putting the time on there. Rotor clock, and we put short on this. And there it's taken off. And now, hopefully that's going to be, there we go. It's going back to the right time now. That's better. Okay, so now that should be the same as all of the other clocks. And that should be the same except for the time offset that we've got for here. And that's great. My little program's working. It checks every 10 seconds. And see, this is why I don't like this. You can't see it at night outside. You can't read this LCD clock. And I've tried various colors, and I've just not found anything I like for the color and that you can read. So this one was good during the day, and I kept that. But this is just good all the time. Let me go in here and change the time offset and show that it just, see, that just washes out that one, but you can see it, but you can see my clock all the time. And there's, right in that time of day, that LCD looks really good. But I just couldn't see putting that in as my clock tower. I just couldn't, sorry, I just didn't like it at all. And so I made one. And there that is, and it takes one little script, and what I did is I found a script that was online in one of the, wasn't on GitHub, but it was on something else, and it's from one of the guys that does a lot of the stuff, and I'd have to go look, but I'll put that into the description. And then I modified that myself and made, because it just makes the rotor change, and it'll make all the rotors with the particular name change to that particular angle, which is good for a lot of things, but I needed the two rotors to change, and I wanted it to set the clock according to the world time. So I did that. Anyway, I've got that little modification, and if you want that, just contact me, and we'll get you that little thing. I probably won't put it up onto the Steam Workshop because it's not my original work. It's his, and I mean, he said here it is, and it wasn't published by him either. But you know, you could pick it up. So I'll do the same kind of thing. All right, well, there's that, and that's our start for our spaceport check-in terminal, and also for the building this clock. I think the clock is a little bit too high, and I think it's maybe 2 blocks too high. But until we put it over there with the control tower, which is massively high, I don't know what we're really going to need. But as you can see here, I've done merge blocks, and we're going to do another video one of these days about using these merge blocks to get stuff lined up and to be able to change the height of it. Probably when I go about changing the height, I'll just make a video on here. I've got this antenna on here temporarily, so I can just do a remote control to connect in. But of course, we'll use the antennas off the base on the other. But that's that video. Hope you've liked what you've seen. You've learned something. You've seen the new blocks a little bit, and man, they're pretty cool. I think I did use that one block an awful lot, and then use the curve block. Oh, and then there's these cylindrical things too, and I put them over in the corners. I think that looks pretty good. Tell me what you think about my building. I like the beam look. I'm not sure I like the corners as much as I like the flat part. But hey, if you've got suggestions, let me know, and show me yours. I'd love to see pictures of your stuff that you're building. and you can catch us on Discord, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube, and we'll go from there. Look forward to seeing you on the next video real soon. Be sure to like and subscribe and get those notifications, because lots of videos coming out. We don't want you to miss any. Thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon.